Alright, well, trying to figure out what we're doing. Well, this thing, the front bearings are howling. It's been doing it for a while. Finally broke down, ordered the parts. So now it's time to take her off and replace the bearings. We're going to replace the rotors because they shake when you hit the brake hard, and the brakes. So, and I didn't bring my stand along, so I'm going to have to try to do the one-hander deal here. It's hot and humid, so got the fans going. So I'll bring you along and show you a few things here as we embark on trying to take this all apart. I'll bring you back on and show you what things we got to take apart. Probably going to have to take this whole mount out here, which just shows means I'm going to have to get up inside here. Take the shock mount there off. I'll show it to you there. You pull that whole thing out to get it over to the press to press the bearings out. But let me get this tire off and we'll go from there. Alright, here I am. What to take off? Well, to get this bearing is on this here. I could take these two bolts out. Alright, here we go. I got this pulled off. This was holding both of these. Pop this off. This is for your anti-lock brake. I'm wondering, pulling that off. Hopefully they don't cause no issues. Here I'm going to take the brake pads off here. I started taking these off, which do need to come off. You can see these, but really what I need to do is take these off. There you go. Focus in on down here and down here. And that is because I got to have this whole thing come off of here. Has to be able to get the rotor off and get to that. So I'm going to try to take these two off and pop it off here. Then I don't have to take the whole shock tower off. And we got probably take this. I can leave that on. See, if I take this off, I don't have to touch that. Sorry, I don't have to touch that if I take these two off. Now, only thing is, this will probably mess up, and I'm going to mark it. It'll probably mess up my alignment, but that's fine. I got lifetime alignment at a shop, so I'll just take it in and get it aligned. Now we'll have here, pop this off, tie rod, and get to what we need here. So I'm going to just put this kind of back in here. I have to get me something to strap that up too, because I don't like strap this up so this ain't hanging on this, because it can restrict it and cause you troubles. So alright, well, and this is on a 2011 Toyota Camry is what we're working on here. So we're replacing the bearing that's bad. So I get a little farther here, bring it back on, we'll do some more here. Alright, well, I got all this taken off. I got it hung up there out of the way. Now I was trying to take this off. Well, it would not come off. But here's what I saw. These two, look at that. You got two holes here. You just find some bolts and put in there. It'll push it right off. Simple as can be. I never had to do that before, but I wanted to show you guys and whoever's doing this how you can do it. You put those two in there, pops it right out. No problem. Look at that. Alright, so I just wanted to show you that little trick. Now let's look at what we got here. Alrighty. So I'm going to try. I know a lot of this is something to do with adjustments. So I'm going to try to mark it the best I can, so I can put it back exactly where it is, so it ain't going to be too squirrely. You know. I'll take those off, but I don't know if they'll have any adjustments or not. I don't think so. So I'll take off these three bolts here. Oh, there you go. Three bolts here. Take those two bolts off right here. And take this off. And that should be free. I should be able to pull this right out. And be able to get to the bearing I need to go. So I'm going to work on, get that straightened out. hit that back. Let's see. Ah, perfect. Slid right out. Got the cutter key out. Real easy. Now find a bolt, take that off. Pretty simple, take those off, and I'll bring you back on to see what we have after I get that all off. Alright, well there it is. Pretty simple. Just use one of these and it's a brass hammer to tap this out. And took that off, no problem. There it is. So here we are. And yes, this is not in good shape. This thing's stiff. So, what I gotta do is I gotta press it out. First of all, I gotta get this thing out, which is this. And I think there's probably a big cutter key in there that you gotta pull out. And I hope he has tools here to do that. This is my friend's house. So I hope I have tools here to do that. He should. But so yeah, this don't sound good at all. So alright, well I'll get with you when I start pressing it out and show you how we press that out with a press. Sometimes you can beat it out. If you don't have a press, you can beat it out. That takes some doing, but you can do it. You can beat that thing out of there and put the new one in. Sometimes they come out easy, sometimes they don't. So alright, well I'll bring you back on. I gotta get this thing out of here first. So I'll put something on here and tap that through, support it here. I need to go ahead, well I can't. I gotta get this off, so then I can get this flange off so I don't beat it up trying to remove the bearing and all that. Alright, there's a new bearing. Still gotta get that out. I just wanted to show you there. Just want to make sure that it's close to the right thing. You see beating that all, destroying it, and then not having a bearing to put back in it. Then you're stranded, aren't you? Alright, let's get this thing off of here. Alright, I got that popped out. Well, took that with it. Now I'm going to take these four bolts out of here. Pop this off. There you go. Now I can work on getting the bearing out. And you can see it's not in too good a shape. So now we're going to get her back on here. This is what puller is what we used here. What I'm using to get her out. And I was pushing it out and this popped out. That can be a pain, because sometimes these things just don't want to come out. So I'm gonna have to work on that. Okay, so what we have is you got to remove this piece here. This is where the anti-lock brake little thing sensor points through. So you gotta get there because you got this in here. That in there to be pull out, and then you can push it out. But you got to remove this first. So a clip in here. So we'll get that out, and then we'll get this thing pushed out and get her moving. All right, wedged out real nice. Took her in the press, pressed it right out. Now we got to press the new one back in there. So we got to be careful with that because you don't want to damage the new one. It's a little more critical. Okay, so that's what we're going to work on next. Alright, got the new bearings put in there. I used the old bearing, this bearing, to help press it in there. And then you can press it down. We use the press to get that in. You can tap it in too, you just got to be easy. But best to use this old bearing, and then you don't tear up anything. So then I put the locking of these pliers, and you put them on there right there. And then just stick that in there. Make sure that this thing locks down in there and clicks over to the side. So that's what locks in there. That means then you know you got the bearing far enough in there. Alright, now my problem is I gotta get this off of here. So, yeah, I gotta try to pry that off. Worst comes to worst, I might have to break it with a chisel. Break it off, there's so many different things you can do. I'm going to try to get behind it. Try to get behind it to get it out. We're going to find out if that's going to work. But these can really be a pain to get out. So I'll sit there and work on it and see what we can do. Bring it back in and show you how I got it off. Alright, I used the press to press that back in there. You just set that there and put you something on top of this and press that down in there. Now, do you see a problem what I did here? That is supposed to go on before that. Bummer. I ain't pressing that back out of there because what it does is it holds on to that one thing and then you screw it up. So, you know what I'm going to do? I'm cutting it. I'm going to cut it right here and I'm going to slip it over it because there's no sense in not doing it. I don't even know why they have that there. So I'm going to cut it maybe here. One of these two places. I'm going to cut it, bend it around, and get that behind that. If I have to, just cut it there and just leave it off. Like, why is it even on there? I don't even know why, probably how they stamped it, but I'm just going to pop it on there. So I'll work on that and show you back and show you how it come, how it went. If you get in the same kind of predicament. But first of all, if you listen to the video, don't forget to put that on there before you put it on there. Then you won't have to do this. All right, it worked pretty good. I cut one end of it, as you see there. I just used a pair of cutters like that. And then I just took this and you can see I bent it all the way back, forced it on, popped it on, look at it. Works great. Now, if worse comes to worse and this worries you, you can always spot weld that back together. If it bothers you or has a problem, you can always spot weld that back together. So improvise. Save yourself a lot of issue. On something like that, is like I said, it's not going to matter on this big scheme of things. The 4 bolts hold it. So we'll just put the 4 bolts in here to hold that. But hopefully if you're watching this video, you'll know ahead of time, and don't forget to do that. Put that in there before you you press that in there. So, but that's hard learning, right? Let me put this in here. Come on. There it goes. These are number 10, or they're a star bit, as you can see there. But I just used the number 10, and now that I got it on there, I'm going to have to use probably, if I had a star bit, I could probably make it work, and I might have one there. I don't know what I got here. This is my friend's house. Lets me use his lift. Star bit, you can use that, or just probably number 10 wrench. Because of being back in there, you can't get okay, standard, here we go. Because you can't get a socket back in there. So run them down by your fingers as far as you can, and then tighten them up. So that's just a little thing I wanted to show you. Hopefully it'll help somebody to keep from doing what I just did. Accidentally put that together before you put that on. Alright, well, I'm going to tighten these down. That's no fun just to watch all that. And I'll show you, start putting this thing back together. Sorry I couldn't show you more stuff. I forgot my tripod. And as you know, if you've done any kind of mechanic work, it's hard to do it with one hand. And it took me a while to figure out here to setting all that up. It took me a little bit to set it all up and all that good stuff. So you don't want to watch that. You can figure it out how to support it on whatever you got, or you can tap it out of there. So, all right, well, I'm going to put this all on here, and I'll start putting this all back together. Same way it came apart. But I got another one to do. But I think I'm running out of time today, so I'll have to do that another day. So, but you seen one, you seen them all, right? You seen this one, this is the same way as the other side would be. I'll show you a little bit going back together. Try to get it in the same, try to get so it's not so far out of whack. That means according to your front end alignment. So, but I'm going to take this when I get done. I'm going to take it to the shop anyway to get the front end aligned when I get them all done. And I suggest you do the same. So, all right, everybody. Well, I'm going to continue on here and I'll bring you back on. All right. What I did is I put these down here loosely. You can see there. Put those all in there loosely. And then slip this into there. Now you got to push this down, and then you can push these into here, and then have your bolts ready, start tighten it up. I can't do it with the one hand, but just put everything loose for the front to get everything squared up, and then you can tighten it up. And of course, then the tie rod end goes in there, explanatory. Put your brake and all that back on. So that's pretty explanatory. Explains it for itself, but I just wanted to show you there a little bit. This will go right into there, back in there, put the bolts back in. Alright, well, I'll bring it down and get it all completed there. Okay, and changing the brakes, this is part of the deal too I was doing. You got to put these new clips in. See how they're all shiny? You see, here's the old ones. So you got to put these new clips in. Then you got these wires that go in to the brake pads. So first of all, what we're going to do, let's go ahead and I'm going to put this back on here. I got my new rotor, cleaned it up with some brake cleaner, get all the oil off of it. Now I'm going to put this on here, and then I can set the brakes. You got to push this down with a C-clamp to get that all the way in to accommodate the new brakes. I got to put this little thing in here. This is what for the anti-lock brakes. So I'm going to work on doing all that, and I just wanted to show you those clips that need to be in there, and I'll show you how these brake pads go on too. Okay, then on your brake pads you got these little clips that go up here. Set the old ones right next to these and replace the clips where they need to be. That'll tell you. So set the new ones right next to the old ones, and then that'll show you what needs to be, where the clips need to go. Alright, I got the piston pushed all the way back. Use a C-clamp, get that. I put this into place, and these, just slip them in here. Pretty easy, see? There, and you slip the one in the back. I gotta put some light back there to see how to slip that in there. And then you put this on top of it. But before you do that, you have to put these little hooks in, and you see holes right here. That's where these will go in. And it'll go here on the other side on these brake pads. Keep that in. So I'll try to bring you back on and show you that. Well, I got it all finished. All works good. So hope that helps somebody and helping them get their car going. Hey, push the subscribe and bell, get notifications when I bring different videos up. Like I said, I hope this helps somebody, and y'all have a good day and take care.